Welcome, everybody. We got a great show today. Are you ready for this? It is Advanced Partners Presents Women Leadership Series here. And I got to say right off the bat, before I even start into it, it's Women History Month. So all the women out there, I got to give you a shark shout out. Woo, yeah. Good job for what you guys do in our industry. And today's guest, here they are, Laurie and Dara. What's going on, girls?
We are so grateful to be here, Richard, and that we're recognizing Women's History Month and women in leadership and women in staffing. A big shout out to you and Advanced Partners for having Dara and I as your guest today. We greatly appreciate it.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I am so pumped for today because we got a lot of stuff we're going to talk about. And owning a staffing firm or running one is, I'm going to tell you, it's stressful. I've done it. So I know what it takes, And real quick, Laurie, so I got to ask you, what made you get into staffing? I mean, right off the bat, we all come from different worlds. I know this wasn't your first gig. So just take us back to what made you say, it's time for me to open a staffing firm or run one.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I think we all have a story that shapes us and shapes our careers. And so my story actually started when I was younger. I had a dad. I grew up with a disabled dad who was a veteran. So I actually grew up in the VA hospital system. And then I had a chance to take my experience and start one of the first visiting angel private duty home care agencies doing care for disabled and the elderly. And that was my intro into staffing. And then had the opportunity to grow and then get into nationwide staffing with Guardian Health Staff. So I appreciate, everyone's story behind, what kind of led them into this journey. And I know Dara has an amazing story as well.
Go for it, Dara. You're on the spotlight right now. And by the way, I got to tell everybody out there, this is your first podcast ever live, right?
First one. Very excited.
Woo, yes. Shout out for that.
Yes, thanks for having us. So my story, I started out as a nurse actually on the floor. Ended up unfortunately getting hurt, had to have a couple hip surgeries, and then got recruited into recruiting. Started with another company, and then there was an acquisition, came over to Laurie's company, Guardian, and it's been great. So I started out as a recruiter and worked myself up into a leadership position now.
I love that. So you were a nurse, so you got to see everything. So when you recruit or help people out now, you know what it takes to be a nurse. And
yes.
That's a tedious job.
Yes. So it was awesome. And I think that's, what we're able to kind of build on as a team, and we have that clinical experience. And so, I think that it's great when we're talking with our nurses to be able to have been there. So.
Oh yeah. And talk the talk, you know what I mean? Like, you're just saying, what goes on. Okay, Laurie. So this is it. So you start a staffing firm right off the bat. Give us some challenges because we've all have challenges. That's why I got silver in my hair. It's like, oh boy, you just open one up. I mean, what was your first day like?
Well, I think it was, just trying to maintain that high touch feel that was so invested in the visiting angels concept, that personalized care. And then also, keeping that culture that I think is so important. I think it's so important that we touch lives along the way. That's really true success. And so it was trying to, bring that over into the world of nationwide healthcare staffing. And so we definitely love to invest in people's careers, celebrate success, support them in many ways that we can on the job. We have, I think, built an amazing culture, which I'm very proud of, which is, of course, a team effort. We have certain initiatives like Guardian Gives Back, where we encourage others to volunteer for passions that they love. Team spotlights and recognition. I think all of those things are so important in starting and building a great foundation for a company.
I love what you said there. Work culture is so important. You got to like where you work at, seriously. And that's the thing, bringing everybody together on that stuff. So, okay. So the staffing firm, I mean, give me the first couple years. I mean, what was the take? I mean, you're trying to grow, definitely want to scale and all that good stuff. How did you actually do that? Like, I mean, a lot of people I want people out there to know, the audience, like, if they're trying to open a staffing firm or they have one, what kind of like roadblocks did you have that you overcome?
I think it's finding the right team to take your journey that also aligns with the culture that you want to create, and then also bringing in the right technology, to help maintain all of that, but having that balance between automation and the human connection, I think, is so important. And then, of course, having community and leadership development, which is an ongoing culture for us too. So I think setting that firm foundation is a great launching pad to success.
So Dara, I'm going to talk about human connection because I love this. I mean, I'm all about human connection. It's all about the hug, the fist pump when you see somebody. Mm-hmm. When you're on a call or you're training people or whatever, mm-hmm. And talking to nurses, how do you bring that human connection in? I mean, we got to talk about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think really the first part of all of our conversations is just trying to get to know the person, finding that connection, whether it's where they're living, interests, whatever that is, and finding out any piece that just brings that connection in. Because I think building the relationship is number one to us, and then building the trust. And then from there, everything else kind of takes care of itself. And we want it to be truly like that best fit for them. So finding out about them also helps us to place them where we think it's going to be the best fit.
So true. And do you guys ever have like a story where like somebody calls you, you see them like maybe at Walmart and they're like, hey, you hired me, and like that's, or they call you to say, you made a difference in my life. Is that like the best feeling in the world or what?
It's the best.
It is. I say praise people all the time. So one thing that we're going to deep dive in now. Okay. So we got the journey out of the way. Now the challenges, we got tech and human connection right now. Laurie, I'm going to speak to you as like tech is trying to do so much, but still at the end of the day, that human connection. How are you guys focusing on that?
Well, I think just trying to find that balance of not over having too much automation, but still keeping all of the focus on soft skills. How can we use AI to make our jobs more efficient, but not replace that culture fit, empathy, and all of those things that come along with personalizing things for a candidate experience. And then also the same for my team. But it's a balancing act, which is, again, our title of today's talk. I think we're strategically looking at what technologies like AI matching and some things behind the scenes that will really help us, automated scheduling tools, enhancing our ATS platforms with the latest and greatest, but then still being that forward face to both our clients and to our candidates and to everyone. And I'm sure Dara can speak a little bit more on how it's used day to day by the team.
So day to day, I mean, we're using it on the back end for sure. It's a huge time saver. So one big area that we're using it is with job descriptions, using the AI portion and then adding to that. We're doing that all day, every day. And the amount of time that's saving is helping us get additional candidates through the door, helping us build those relationships, because then we have more time to actually have those conversations, everything like that. And then we also use like job automation that pulls from VMSs into our ATS system. So there's lots of different ways that we're using it currently in the back end, but nothing replaces that like personal relationship and building the trust, which is, I think, what's helping our success right now.
You summed it up there, and I think big time AI is here to assist us. Okay, so I got to ask you, is that AI going to take our jobs? Come on. It's going to make it easier in my eyes. I'm thinking positive here. That administrative work that we do in the forefront, that's going to be all eliminated by an AI is going to take care of that for you. So we can get on the phone and we can touch people.
Yes, I believe it's a super positive thing when used correctly, because like you said, it does give us more time to make that personal connection, to send out personalized handwritten cards to people, or to share, come alongside of people, even as they're facing challenges and, all of those things. We just have so much more time in our day to do those things, which is so important.
Time out. You said handwritten cards. Explain that to me, because we're going back to old school ways. You guys still do that, right?
I'm a firm believer in that. I love getting a handwritten card, especially at Christmas time. I can remember having stacks of hundreds of cards that we would send out, and everyone would sign them. Now our staff is spread out, nationwide, and we don't get to do those things quite as much anymore. But I think those things are just so important, and so that someone would actually take the time, personalize something for you, sign it, and send it to you. I think it's awesome.
I love that stuff. And by the way, don't make fun of me, but I still make cards with glitter. It is what it is. Remember that with the glue and you sprinkle it? Just make sure you're outside. Do not do it inside your house. You have glitter for years. Just FYI out there for everybody.
Well, I'm a mom of 4 daughters, so I know all about glitter.
You do?
I do. Yeah, there's lots of glitter in my house, which is great.
I love it. Oh my goodness, so much fun. And then you know what's real good about it? When you get a card, it's like a tangible item. That email goes, so far for your birthday, but when it's actually a card, it may be like even if there's a gift card inside or just a smiley face, that gives that fuzzy feeling for people. It does for me. I'm sure it does everybody else. And guess what happens then? You probably agree on this. It's retention. Am I right?
Exactly. Especially if it's unexpected, right? Like if someone just goes above and beyond, definitely the staff is encouraged. Like, we need to recognize that at whatever level they're, they went above and beyond. And, so something even outside of birthday or something typical, I think is even more special.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And something else I think that we need to talk about here, is there any other, besides cards, are you giving anything else out there that can maybe give little tips to people that they should connect with?
So I'm very privileged to have my oldest daughter. She works for the company, and she is in charge of corporate happiness. And don't you love that title?
Yeah, okay, we got to explain about that. How did you come up with the title, Corporate Happiness? I love it.
Yeah, so she is very innovative. We have a tool called Thanks. It's THNKS, I believe. And so she's able to personalize even emails with celebrations, now that we, can't be in person as much anymore. And so we have, social media that we use, and just different things to bring people together. Like our Guardian Gives Back. It's something we actually post on social media, and try to get everyone excited and involved. So it's not just our company and our culture. So it kind of crosses over barriers. And so I'm sure Dara can also give some examples too of stories that we have that we can share.
Yeah, so I think we go, we try to go above and beyond for all of our staff. And it can be, if we have a nurse that's having a baby, sending flowers, or acknowledging, sending the picture out to our internal staff. So other people are reaching out just with that personal connection. And then if somebody has an unfortunate situation where maybe they're losing a family member, and it's internal, or one of our nurses, or even a client that we're working with, we want to make sure that they know that we're there for them, and we're sending something out and trying to make that connection with them. And I think we've had a lot of really good feedback on that, and they know that obviously business is business, but there's also that other side. And I think that helps build our relationships and know that we're genuine and genuinely care about them too. So.
And our team, Richard, also makes me aware of all the situations, which I greatly appreciate, because then I can also take the time to reach out. And like Dara said, whether it's our internal staff, our external staff, and even our vendors. And it does catch people by surprise sometimes too. And that's the best part.
That is amazing, because staffing is coming so fast right now, but that human connection, we're working with people every day. And I think some people forget about that, So this is something that I'm going to ask Laurie real quick, is technology. What's the challenges out there? Because everybody's trying to use technology to replace the human connection. I think it's going to be 60-40, 60% is still human connection. What challenges or what disconnects do you think's out there for staffing firms right now that you're seeing?
I think there's been a lot of pressure to feel like you're falling behind if you're not automating so many things at your office. And I know I feel that pressure too in making sure as a leader for our company that we are not missing things that we should be doing or we should be automating. But I think sometimes you can get too caught up in what all the things that are being presented and feel like you're being left behind and then miss what's really important. This last year, we went together as a team through a transformational leadership, and we really refocused like our goals and our company's goals, but also our personal goals. And I think just as a reminder of as we're inundated with so many options with technology and automation, which I have an IT background, so I love. I actually, tend to look to those and embrace those. But then also not forgetting what brought us success and what our company's core values are.
So true. And Derek, tying into that is like, automation is coming so quick here, but how do you still personalize the candidate experience? That's the big part about it. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so like I said, I think our big goal is to use automation, and there are so many options out there, but I think if you target like a problem area or an area where it could be an asset on the back end, using it to the area that you're pinpointing, and then that becomes like a huge help to the company. And then on the other side of things, keeping that personal touch. So we're not planning to automate reaching out. I don't think there's anything AI can do to necessarily build that relationship for you. It can do some of the back end things, but I think for us, we rely on referrals and extensions and hires. And how we're getting all of that stuff is through building the relationship, establishing the trust, and that's where the personal touch, personal connection, and the relationship aspect comes in. So I think that's where we're going with it.
Well, and I think we also need to remember that each time we talk to someone, they might not be a fit for our organization at the moment, but they might know someone who is, or they might, remember us down the road. And that relationship is very hard to develop, with an AI match. That really requires that connection with that person, finding out a little bit more about them if they know someone that they might refer to us. And believe it or not, we have a referral program, and we have people that end up referring people to us that don't even work for us, which is amazing to me. But it's based on the fact that we've developed that relationship with them no matter what.
I love it. So I can be part of your referral program?
Absolutely.
Uh-oh, sign me up. Something else. What'd you say?
There's some good bonuses involved.
Oh boy, after the show, look out, the shark might be teaming up here. But all joking aside is here, did you find any technologies right now that are actually helping with the human interaction for the process? Is there any technology do you think out there you can give some tips like that you're really using right now that's really speeding up the human, process?
Dara?
So I think there are some technologies on like the sourcing side of things where it helps you source, helps you, get through some of those resumes quicker. A lot of it that I'm hearing is useful is, again, more so on the back end of things. I have not heard anything from the candidate perspective that's been helping to build those relationships or like the end that we're looking at. So I think back end things are where it's helping the most right now.
And Richard, I've been using more with ChatGPT or GPTs in creating some dashboards and things like that for the team. So that in a leadership role, I think that's super helpful. And so I try to incorporate that a lot of times into our day and planning and how we're looking at new business development and things like that. It's amazing the kind of answers you can receive instantaneously on, if we're looking into doing physician staffing or branching out into different avenues, how you can instantly get those answers. And, market research is like right at our fingertips.
Yes.
So from a leadership perspective, I think it's absolutely amazing.
It's amazing. Okay. So have you both put your name in? and see what came out. It's like amazing. Like seriously, if you haven't done it, try it sometime. It's like, I'm like, and the words they used was like, oh my goodness. They talked about the ocean with me and all kind of different things. I was like, this is kind of scary. I'm going to use this as my new profile.
Yes, I actually have a GPT that is my personal assistant, and it's amazing how well it knows me. It knows I need Starbucks at, what time in the morning, DoorDash, I mean, it's crazy.
So she said Starbucks. I don't know about you, Dara, but I'm a Dunkin' boy when I'm on the road.
I'm all about Starbucks, and then there's a local coffee shop here too that I'm a huge fan of.
Yep.
So.
Gotta love the locals. Oh my goodness, the locals are the best there. So something else. What'd you say, Laurie?
Oh, I was going to say, I think everyone in staffing, I think we're all addicted to coffee, aren't we?
Oh,
I think it's a must.
And it's all day. It's just not morning. I'm drinking coffee at 3 in the afternoon, 4 o'clock. It's like I've only had 2 cups before this show. So just let you know, if I have 6, it doesn't even affect me, to be honest with you. But something I want to talk about real quick here is KPIs. This is a big topic this year. Laurie, how are you guys, using your KPIs to be very effective in 25?
We have KPIs and, and even like Dara, director of recruitment, she's aware, we have big goals and big things that we want to accomplish this year. But I believe that when there's a line that gets crossed where it becomes too much of a pressure and a distraction, I think there's a fine balance with growth and expectation. And then also, not limiting people by, making them worry that they have to make so many phone calls per day. I'd rather someone just be extremely productive and set personal goals. And Dara can probably share, we have, we've had some individuals on our team that have made some amazing goals despite a challenging, staffing, from last year into this year. So Dara, I'll let you kind of explain a little, share some stories.
So from a recruitment standpoint, anybody that we have joining our team, we're looking number one for that self-drive, and that we're creating goals with them. So like quarterly goals, yearly goals. But sometimes with recruiters, I think if they look at the yearly goal, it can kind of freak them out a little bit when it's January 1st. So something that we're doing to motivate them and get them there is create like mini goals. And then we're celebrating those wins as we go, as a team and then also individually. And so we have lots of people on our team that are hitting those goals. And then our KPIs kind of fall into their goals. Because if you're not making the calls, you're not going to be hitting like your mini goals. Yep. So we're less of like hit this amount per day. We're like, what can get you there? And I do one-on-ones with our whole recruitment team each week. And we're very much on the same page. If something isn't working, we're switching that up sooner rather than later. And so we're seeing success in that.
That is so great.
I was just going to say, I love a good celebration. And so anytime
me too.
There's something, I mean, we celebrate. I mean, we celebrate wins, right?
Yes.
And so I love to do that with my team. And so I think that is how we drive KPIs.
Yes. I do want to touch on the fact that I think one thing that we do try to make sure is we don't have the burnout either from recruitment, because that's a real thing, especially with COVID and after COVID. So I think our company is really good with making sure that we have that balance. Everybody has families outside of work, but they put in their all when they're here. And then they also have that other side. And I think that keeps our recruitment fresh and keeps the momentum going. And that's been really great and keeps like a lot of high energy to our team, I think, too. So
100%. It's all about, high energy and the mojo. I call it the staffing swag. You ready for that? It's about the swag. Don't brag, just swag, and that's what it's all about, and if you can have fun while you're doing this and you guys are all growing and everybody financially is okay, there it is. And I got to tell you about KPIs real quick. And I say this all the time. KPI is like a report card, isn't it? It's like you get that and you're like just cringing like, oh boy, am I going to pass or fail? If we can make it more relaxed like you guys are doing, that's incredible.
And celebrate. Yes.
Celebrate. That's the key word today. Celebrate, right? I'm going to have to play that song after here, right? Little Kool and the Gang. Celebration.
Yes, absolutely. Celebrate good times for sure.
That is it. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the future because I like predictions. I like some strategies, so the role of AI and automation evolving the staffing industry. What is your take on AI and automation? I mean, it's right at you right now. do you guys have any forecasts for the next couple months or next 5 months, what it's going to take to get to the next level with AI?
Yeah, I think so. We've actually assigned a team member to really look at all avenues of automation, just like I'm sure a lot of companies have. I think some of my peers have probably jumped in a little stronger than we have. We've been a little bit more conservative, but it's been interesting. I've gotten some feedback where maybe jumping in too strongly has there's been some issues or there's been some challenges. So I think we have a lot of, some decisions to make, this year on how involved in certain areas of AI we're going to do and invest in, but we're going to do it as a team.
Yes.
And that's the important thing without affecting our culture.
I love what you said there. So everybody has a little bit of input, even recruiters, of what maybe AI you guys work on, instead of just having the C-level management saying, this is what we're going to have and you implement this and yay or nay. Everybody gets an input. Am I right?
Everybody gets an input.
Yeah.
And it also they get an input on who we hire and who we add to the team too. So we're very much a team culture on decisions.
Oh, I love this. If I get tired of podcasting, I might just join you all. Okay.
Well, it's interesting. Dara might share this too. Like, sometimes we just opened up a new position and we actually had people very disappointed that that some people didn't make it because they were so excited to work in a culture that we've created. So I'm very proud of my team for that. That's an awesome compliment.
Man, you guys are having so much fun. Seriously, I got to tell you, I have not talked to many in the last 3 months that are saying, all you got is positive. I haven't heard one negative word out of both of your mouths. This is great. I love positivity. I'm excited right now. Your first podcast too, and you guys are all positive all the way. By the way, you guys are doing great too. You know that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
The bugs are gone now, right? It's just like we're one-on-one, right?
Yeah. One-on-one. And I think there's so many challenges that we face in staffing, but one of the things I've appreciated as an agency owner is even my peers and other people that own staffing companies. We can collaborate because we know that there's a lot of ups and downs, but we're in this journey together. And I look forward to meeting more people too that we can share stories with and that we can collaborate together and figure this out together, really. Best practices, because we all win.
Exactly. There's no secrets to anything. Give everything out there for free. We're all here to win it. There's enough work for everybody. I'm going to say that.
Mm-hmm. There is.
So Laurie, real quick, I want to ask you before we wrap things up here. Anybody starting a staffing firm, is there any advice you can give them right off the bat? To jump in, is there any tips that you went through that you think that you can just throw maybe a couple out there?
I think setting that firm foundation of a people first culture is so important. Remembering where you came from, remembering your personal stories, knowing your team's personal stories, empowering your team, being a positive impact on really the world around you. And I think that will set any staffing firm up for success. And I believe also, collaborating with your peers, other people in the staffing world industry, everyone has been so collaborative that I've met, and I so appreciate that. And I hope that I can be that person too.
Ooh, well said. And Daria, we're going to wrap it up with this. So what is your most proudest moment of your career so far?
So I would say building the team that we have right now. I think we have a great team. Nobody can do it alone. And if you surround yourself with the top level people, you're going to have a good day regardless. And I think one thing our team focuses on is we know that recruitment's basically a wave. Like sometimes you're on top, sometimes you're in the middle, but we always, if you have a candidate that passed like that, declines or something like that, we're back to outbound and that next candidate likely will accept. So I think we just try to keep that positive momentum going, and it's been good.
There it is. And Laurie, come on, you got to have a proudest moment. Probably a bunch of them.
I think just seeing my team grow and blossom in every way, that is the reward, right? Because our goal is to inspire others on this journey that we're on. And so to me, that is that's my proudest moment for sure. Seeing their growth, each one of them. And then, like I said, I know this talk was about tech versus touch, but I think it's really tech empowering touch.
I love what you said there. Seriously. Okay. So the fun part. Let's start with Dara. Any shout outs you want to give anybody out there from your team or anything like that since we're live?
I'll do the whole Guardian team. Shout out to all of them, because, like I said, it's a team effort. They're the best, and I think that's what we're all excited about as we continue to grow.
I love it, Laurie. Any shout outs to anybody? You already did it, but go for it again.
Well, again, my team. You, Richard, today for taking this time with us. We greatly appreciate that, and our advanced partners for.
Yes, check it out. Did you get one of these yet?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I got my coffee in there.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I should have had that today. But also, our advanced partners for recognizing women in staffing and women in leadership, and we're just grateful. Dara and I are grateful that we could be on this show, and we hope that anyone seeing this will reach out to us too. I would love to hear all of your stories as well.
Yes, make sure you comment. You can reach both of them on LinkedIn or other platforms, or just go to their website. But I want to thank you both for coming on. And I'm going to give you applause one more time. Women History Month, being women leaders. Thank you. You inspired me. Both of you inspire me right now. Seriously, I'm going to get off here and probably cook lunch. But what you just talked about today and the positivity, it just inspired me so much. So I want to thank you both from the bottom of my heart. Your first podcast is almost complete. Look at you. Now you'll be on every show everywhere.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you so much.
That's it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the flip side. Take care.
Sounds good. Thank you.